At WFHA, we are not only about helping you create your own wealth, it is not only about social entrepreneurship, it is also about you, who you are, your person, your soul, your life here on earth, and what life may be or become hereafter. We will help you understand your environment, your community, your culture, the behaviors of the people, the problems affecting your community, your people, the government, the way the system around you work, all of this, we try to help you understand better the best we can. Because understanding who you are, number one, who your friends are, two, your community and culture is the most fundamental thing that you need to enhance your potentiality. If you do not understand any of these or all of this, then you will not know how to apply yourself, the ability to apply yourself to your society, taking advantage of the culture of your people to your benefit and protecting it from being exploited by people who do not have your interest at heart will be difficult. And that is why we will be talking about teachers again today, and those who are the custodians of our culture are traditional leaders. These are the two fundamental people, the two bases upon which a society, community can be built and advanced. The traditional leaders who are supposed to work with the political, the politicians around them, the councillors, to advance the gains of the people from the society. The teachers who are supposed to occupy the position of understanding the changing times in the society, discuss this issue with traditional leaders and the political leaders, so that these three sectors, these three parts come together, understanding what it takes, what change has come into the society for the teachers to teach the children, to guide them. Sometimes it may be important that we bring in the spiritual guidance. These are the pastors, the imam, but I don't want to go there. I want to talk about the traditional leaders, because under the traditional leaders, we have the traditional gods, the ways of the people, the evocation of the ancestors, the calling in of our ancestors, of our traditional deity, the people that brought us to life, the souls and spirit upon which we seek, upon which we place our trust, from who we seek divination. They live this life before us. They set some of the standard with which we operate today. And even if we have to change anything, this should also be consulted. Okay. Traditional leaders understand the customs and traditions of the people. They worked with the past ancestors. The tradition and customs and practices of the people passed to them the way it was practiced in the past are collectively and closely in their hands and authority to affirm, to implement, to guide the people. But when all of this is put aside and all focus is placed on strange tradition, strange custom, strange principles, then the people get confused. Isn't it the reason why some traditional leaders are deposed? Because the political interest has been placed above the traditional interest. And because this cannot easily be infused into the society, the people derail. And when the people derail, because of lack of understanding of the stipulations in the laws and bylaws made by the political government, the people are thrown in jail. The traditional leaders are not able enough, are disempowered, are made to feel like they are now a sub, they're now under the political powers. And this political power sometimes, in most cases, cannot be easily understood by the people. Yes, we have the radio, we have the TV, we have everything that is bringing the society closer to the people, but then the practices that is being imbibed, that is imputed, that is in your system, in your gene, changing that will require more than legislation. And that is why we need the parents and the teachers and the traditional leaders to act basically here. While the traditional leaders meet with the parents and teachers, either in a common ground or a common forum, where they discuss the changing practices in the society. Before implementing whatever change that is going to be applied in the society or the community, they have to first of all understand the impact it will make in the people. Let us look at something here. Before the advent of the white man, Africans do not have security around their homes. Africans do not have fear within their community. Africans do not associate with anything that is taboo. Africans do not guide their farms. Africans do not have street kids. Africans were never hungry. Africans do not forsake the parents or parents forsaking their children. Parents do not abuse their children, and children do not abuse their parents. We have a set standard of practice, values that guides the way we behave, that guides our character and attitude. But with the advent of civilization, of cross-culture breeded people, where we struggle to be African and struggle to be Western, we're losing it. We now want to stand up against our parents, and parents find this offensive and want to stop this children. Who are you? I am your dad gave birth to you. You came out from a loins. How come you want to challenge my authority? And there is no law that can change that psyche in the mind of every man or any man or woman or any institution. Yeah. The Western institution have endeavored enough, they've thrived enough to change the psyche of the black people. For over 300 years, for over 500 years, a lot has happened in the life of the black people. Generations after generations have been plunged into forceful transformation, forceful behavioral and character transformation that brought us to where we are today. And gradually we will need to address these practices if we as African must regain ourselves, must regain our practices, must regain who we are and what we are, the values we are, and that hold top in our practices. And that will bring me to the spirituality that I'm talking about. If you follow me on Facebook, you see yesterday I posted something on mortal and the immortals. The difference between mortal and the immortals: the immortal dwelling in mortals, the spirit and the gods. All of this I will talk about with time. And you will understand how this play paramount in everyday life of every human, be you a black man or a white man, be you an African or West or a European. But because of capitalism, because the West wants to subdue the black people and subject us to their command, use the black race as whatever they want, they have to kill the traditions, customs, and beliefs of the white people, of the black man. They want the black man to see themselves as subhuman, even less than animals. And that is why there is what they call self-hate. I think I credit Malema for that word. Self-hate among the black people, where you see another man look down at another black person. They want to revere, recognize, and believe more of the white man than believe in the black brothers. This should not be acceptable. This should not be the practice that we should associate ourselves with in Africa. As Africans, we are the cradle of civilization. Africans, we started civilization. When Africans started living in homes, the West was still living in caves, living in the bushes, without clothes. Look at the pyramid. China, America, and all of them, they've tried to build a pyramid, but they have not been able to. Africa is a cradle of civilization. Civilization started in Africa. They hijacked it, they placed us, they disabled us, and placed us in a position where we cannot thrive and begin to thrive. Today, they are above Africa. And still, they want to subdue Africa. They want to suppress our development that they continue to develop while we struggle to even get off the ground. Look at what is happening today in America, in France, in Spain, in Britain, with COVID-19, with coronavirus. All the affected people, all the hospital the hospital where the victims are being treated, they only show white doctors. What about the black doctors? If you look at and take statistics of the doctors that help patients there, I am sure that 70% of them are African doctors, but not even single one is shown. What is the kind of message they are passing to you Africans? That you are irrelevant. And you want to believe this? Well, I don't want to go racial here, but what I'm trying to do is to bring you to understand the needs of the need for you to value who you are, the need for you to value what you are, the need for you to value your tradition, your custom, your ethics, your practices. That which makes you an African, that which makes you a black man, that who makes you who you are, and stop following blindly. That we follow the Western world and practice and learn from them what they do is because we have failed to look back, to look inward, to look at ourselves and see what we have, the values in us, the potentials in us. We have failed to see that which nature has bequeathed us that is better and more prizing than that which is presented to us. The physical things that you can see, the oil, the gold, the diamond, all the mineral resources that grow the economy of this world is derived from Africa. And yet, we do not see the need to look inward. The most stupid and foolish thing that we see and that is plaguing us is that our own leaders do not see any reason or why they should put aside any interest that it will stand, and first of all, protect the interest of their people, find the peace and security with their people, and hide behind the people. Find the strength with the people they lead. Democracy is said to be government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Yet, democracy is not practiced as it is explained. Because if it were to be so, then the government of the people should place the people first. And the people should matter first. The interests of the people should be sorted before going into any kind of engagement, treaty, agreement with foreign interests. The interest of the people should be placed above whatever interest there is or the government seek. Again, this is just an explanation, but what we are talking about here is still the values of the teachers, the values of the parents, and the values of the traditional leaders. These three arms of the society should play paramount in dictating the system, tradition, and whatever should play in every given society or community, so that governance can be made easy, so that whatever there is that you need to achieve as leadership in your community, in your society, in your state, can be made easy. But where the leaders do not even have interest or confidence in the community, in the society that they lead, then they're bound to fail. Failure is sure, and that is why most of African leaders sometimes fails, mostly fail. We need to return back home. We need to return back to our community. We need to return back to our people. We need to begin to look back to see those values that we have thrown away, bring them back and apply them in the way we lead ourselves, the way we instruct ourselves, the way we do things, so that success can be assured. Fellow Africans, I thank you again for listening to me today. And I thank you again for taking time to reflect over what you hear. Please do subscribe to us with us. Please hit that subscription button and subscribe. There are more to come from us. WFHA is just not a social entrepreneurial organization. It's also an organization that builds you as a person, that builds your community, that serves governance. Thank you.